Hello, we're live. Hi, everyone. Welcome to tonight's episode of Oodvin. As always, I am the DM for this session, Maxwell Williams, at your disposal. And I play a whole bunch of quirky, interesting, cool characters, including the sister of one of our party members by the name of Iris. Hasn't said much yet, but, you know, she's got lots of thoughts and lots of opinions. Anyway.
Hi, y'all. Oh,
you're good.
okay. I'm Sam Rinaldi, and I play Winnie Winslow, the Twilight Cleric, who is bonding, or wishes to bond with Lily over bad dads.
Hi, I'm Connor McGinley. I play Lily Pembroke, the Azamar Lunar Sorcerer, and yeah, she found out that she doesn't like her dad pretty recently, and she wasted a whole bunch of time and made Octavia really OP before an important fight.
Hi, my name is Julie Risto, and I play Octavia Lagazur, and she is said now kind of OP, half-orc swashbuckling rogue. And she's about to fight her uncle for the right to the throne, which could either go really well or really poorly, depending. So we'll find out together.
Hello, my name is Aaron Borden. I play the character Februm Cask, the Simic hybrid blood fighter. And he should really start checking his pockets more often, because last session he found a shard in there.
I'm Drew Borden. I play Aldrich Bernask. And man, is he old. That's it.
Sweet. And before we get into tonight's episode, we'll do a quick little recap of how we got here. So, our party, escaping the destruction of Aophik, has found themselves on the Lake Float's flotilla. That was a mouthful. A once welcoming environment has become less welcoming as they have become inundated and overpopulated with all the refugees that have made it to their floating platforms, causing some uneven swaying here and there and some possible sinkage. Everything seems to be okay for the time being, but the attitudes and emotions are running high currently. The current leader of the lake folk, Sylvain, right? Sylvain, yeah. There we go. Is under the opinion and impression that these refugees should be sent to the mainland, not back to Aophik, but out into the waste itself, in order to save the population of the lake folk that do exist on the flotilla itself. There are those that disagree. Octavia is one of them. And when she spoke up and displayed this opinion, she was informed by Sylvain that she was going to be forced to stay here with her people, one way or the other. Now, after some dad conversations and some daddy issues that have been arisen, Octavia prepared herself for her inevitable challenging of her uncle for the throne and chieftainship?
Chiefdom.
Mm-hmm. Of the lake folk itself. Her only honorable direction to take moving forward, should she want to stay to her convictions and her goals. Our party has discovered a couple of things. One, that they have the face shard with them. They've been carrying around for the last couple of days in Februm's pocket, which has granted them the ability to withstand the effects of the devouring, at least within a short range of these shards. And they have also looked into the seemingly inert body that used to contain Lily's soul, and was originally owned by a figure that we have codenamed Lily, a carionette that possessed the doll and wished to take Lily's position and her life. But with that, I believe we were getting ready for bed.
Yeah.
The material shard has been switched over from Lily to Octavia in preparation for her battle tomorrow, as well as, I think, a cloak of protection. Bump that AC a little bit. Is there anything else people want to do before the bedtime arrives? Nothing. Okay. Anyone taking watch? Anyone doing anything like that? Or is everyone just comfortably passing asleep?
I think we're okay.
Probably just
Yeah.
sleeping.
I think we are okay. In that
Concerned that
case,
you have to ask that.
in that case, why? Who was the highest passive? It's probably Lily, right?
Passive perception?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really Lily.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you could say it.
The night is quiet, peaceful. At least for a little while. Lily, with your perception, and you're kind of in and out of being awake and asleep, you start to hear a bit of a ruckus. Oh. Okay. Oh, yeah, this is... Okay.
Okay.
It sounds like shouting at first. Kind of like open up your eyes and you hear just the very faintest shouting off in the distance.
Have to look at my enormous spell list. Okay, well, it's outside, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
What
It's not...
passive would you need to hear this, may I ask?
if your passive is 22 or higher.
Yeah, definitely not. Okay, just thought I'd check.
Especially from sleep. If you were awake,
Mm-hmm.
it would be it would be more of an active check, but I think Lily is the only one. Maybe Winnie, what's your passive? I know it's up there.
Sorry. 20.
So not quite. It seems to be coming from outside. It's hard to tell which direction. Why don't you go ahead and make me an active perception check as you kind of stir awake.
So yeah, I'm gonna like peek my head outside, just, context. Like, just peek my head out of a window, see if I can ascertain a direction. Oh yeah. What is my actual modifier? 12, so that's a 30.
Okay. You peek your head out the window and begin to kind of look around the flotilla. It's a different nightscape than what you're used to. It's a bit darker. There are kind of string lights down a lot of these alleyways and corridors, but no familiar kind of ever-present glow that you're used to growing up and living in Aofik itself. But you kind of look down the path, and about 100 to 150 feet down the way, the first thing you see is a building. And it's crooked. You see it leaning heavily to the right. And that's when you start making out the voices. There are maybe half a dozen different voices that are kind of yelling and screaming for help. And you catch this snippet of... It's gonna go down! The platform! It's coming!
Okay, I have anything that makes a loud noise? I don't know that I do.
Switch to a little more intense music.
Not specifically. I mean, I can just wake people up.
you're starting to see a couple other guards, people dressed in uniforms, are rushing in this direction as the building has begun to increase its angle towards the water.
I wake up Octavia first. Hey, sorry to wake you up. It's like a big emergency. We just need to go.
What? Okay.
There's a building falling. We need to go.
Yes. Perseus, scout the sky. And she's gonna dash outside.
And
Perseus does a little like...
Lily's gonna like go to the window and she's gonna turn back and be like, everyone needs to get up right now, and then she's gonna jump out the window and start going.
Octavia is dashing.
Yeah. The rest of you kind of stir awake. Zephyr seems to be sleeping peacefully over in the corner. As Dane was not able to join us tonight. But the rest of you are awake. You've been kind of yelled at and alerted that there's an emergency happening.
Any indication of where?
As Lily jumps out the window and Octavia
that far ahead.
darts out in a similar direction, it is 150 feet to the east of your current location.
Okay. Let's go.
As you begin running and booking, everyone kind of mad dashing. Don't know if anyone's doing anything to move faster.
No, just dashing, I'd say.
It's like as you can, the building is actively progressing farther down. Absolutely, it is dim light all around.
It's sick.
You kind of join the skies with Perseus, and are the first to get a really good view of what is transpiring. As you see a whole section of the flotilla, a platform containing several different buildings, but one taller one in specific that seemed to have tried to take on more refugees than it could, as the entire platform has begun to sway, its enchantments failing under the increased weight that it has to support.
I lied. I can go faster. I'm going to cast Far Step on myself and teleport as frequently as I am able.
Fantastic! Lily just begins... What does your Far Step look like? What does your magic look like?
So I think she's flying because she has attuned to her boots, I hope. So I think she just like throws this magic at her feet. Just this. I think most of her magic is themed around like white flame that kind of tickles her fingers, and she throws it down at her feet, making like a platform almost. But rather than something to step on, it's something she falls through, and then right as she's falling through, she throws another 60 feet ahead, and she pops right back up.
Yeah, I love that. So, Lily, you will be the first one to get there. There is going to be a round before you're able to interact. So okay. I am going to make a check to see how the people that are already there handle the situation.
Am I able... You said it was 150 feet?
150 feet.
Am I able to get with 30 feet closer before this round happens?
Absolutely. So what would you...
Can I see anybody?
That's actively there? Yeah. Not quite.
Okay, then never mind.
You're probably seeing more people that are actively trying to help. There's like a group that is trying to hold the platform down from the other side, making sure that like tying ropes off and trying to rebalance it. You're not really seeing any of the civilians or people that are actively inside of these buildings.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna roll a d20. Okay. Top of the next round, Lily, you are the first one there. You arrive in kind of a quick flash and are able to assess the situation in its entirety. It seems like the guards and stuff that are here have been able to slow it down to an effect. They've rolled pretty well going so far. It's been about 4 rounds into this, but they are quickly losing ground. And you're not sure how long their ropes, their lashing, their own weight is going to be able to help this platform.
So, is the platform is like tipping, like it's falling in one direction?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is it in the middle of other platforms? Is it going to fall on something else?
So you're over closer to the edge. There's probably boats and lashings that are connected to this platform, but not directly. This is towards the edge. That's why that backside isn't being supported by any other enchantments.
Okay. And it's above the water, because everything's floating.
Yep, everything sits about a foot or 2 above the water.
I guess I'm just gonna try... Spend a turn to think. She's just gonna try and cast Gust. That's the best she has. Just a cantrip to push back in the opposite direction.
So moving to the side where the platform
She's gonna
is,
move
falling
where
towards.
it's falling and push back the opposite direction.
Okay, sweet. Just give me an Arcana check to see how effective this is.
Arcana. Oh! Not bad. It's a 15 for a 14.
Hey! So you're, it's not a full success or anything, but you are applying a little extra help to the people that are already there. Taking a little bit of the weight and strain off of their efforts. Okay. Everyone else, takes another turn of movement. I would say, Octavia, you might be able to get an action in because of your cunning action. On this next round before they make another check.
Okay.
Everyone else is going to have to spend their whole turn just moving.
How close would we be at that point?
So you moved, assuming you moved 60 feet the first turn, you're another 80 feet away.
Right now?
Yep.
Okay. Alright. Keep moving then.
But I think Octavia can move 90 feet around, so you got a little extra on everyone else.
Cool. So, with that extra movement, as I'm running, I'm going to I've got a 50-foot rope, and I'm going to tie that to, I also have a piton, which is like a foothold thing, and I'm going to basically use it like a grappling hook, to connect it to one of the buildings, from the side that's not tipping, in effort to like swing myself out and over and land on the tipping platform to like add my weight to it.
Sweet. Make what do you go ahead and make me an attack roll first.
Alright. Well, 19 plus what would my modifier be?
I'll give you dex on this one. I think.
Okay.
Even though it's a thrown weapon, but
It's a 21.
Good, great, fantastic. The piton kind of loops in perfectly between 2 wooden boards. You get a nice kind of grip on it. Do the total like pirate where you take like 2 or 3 steps before like the holding onto the tension like swings out and comes back on. You plant your feet on this edge. but you can still feel it moving in the other direction.
Ooh, yeah.
You are unfortunately not that heavy.
No, I really am not. Can I use a free action to talk to? Because there are other people doing something very similar, right?
You've got less people that are actively on the platform and more people that are trying to like pull it back down into place.
Yeah. She kind of she looks between the people and she's like, "Are the people still on the platform?"
We're not sure who's still on there or anything. To be perfectly frank, we're not sure what's happening. The buildings just started turning and moving.
Well, someone who's not doing anything, go run and get one of the craftsmen. Someone who can work on the enchantment while it's pulling.
Understood. One of them will kind of run off. I'm gonna make a... Let's see how fast he is. Actually, that's probably a luck check.
Did we grab a fast one?
Did we grab a fast one? That's the luck. I'm gonna say... Lake folk are pretty roguey. There's a good chance that you've got another swashbuckler in there. We'll do 40% chance that you found a fast one.
Not terrible.
You want low. 93.
Oh, no. No.
So you see one of the younger and more lithe lake folk starts running off in a direction, makes it a good like 30-40 feet, trips on his shoelaces, like goes tumbling and gets back up and is still running, but
Octavia's gonna send Perseus after him to try and beat him there.
okay. So Perseus will be heading in that direction as well. Okay. The people there are going to make a check assisted by Octavia and Lily's efforts to see if they can keep holding it down. Damn, they rolled pretty well.
Yay!
They haven't rolled...
You'd think that this might have happened before. Maybe not in such a dire situation.
Yeah, there's definitely been some unevenness. This is something else. You're risking losing a whole platform. It keeps progressing. Hasn't shifted tides back, in any way, but they're doing their best to slow down this descent. Top of the next round, everyone else gets there.
Cool.
Kind of running in, breathing heavy. There are other lights in the city that are beginning to turn on at the moment. What do y'all do? Everyone gets like one turn. And you keep it kind of loose initiative-wise.
What's the platform look like? Like, is it a large platform?
It is a...
Is it like...
I'm trying to think like size-wise.
How many buildings?
I think we're talking... You've got... I'm trying to think like math-wise. 50... No, your smaller buildings are only going to be about 20. Yeah, so I'm going to say you've got kind of 4 outer buildings and then one taller one in the middle. It's about a 60 by 60 foot square platform.
Okay.
So just general baseline knowledge. These platforms are held up by like magical devices? Or just they hover somehow?
Would you like to investigate or perceive?
I need to know very broadly because I would love. My idea is I want to cast Fly on Al and let him fly under the platform and see if he can artifice something. But if there's nothing to artifice, that won't help.
I don't know if Lily knows enough about specifics, but I will give you anything will help. If Al can come up with an artificing patchwork, that's going to be just as effective as any enchantment that they've previously used.
And Iris is here, right?
Iris is like breathing heavy, trailing behind everyone else, not quite used to the sprinting speed that everyone else was using.
So I'm gonna teleport back, stopping my gust momentarily. I'm gonna talk to the group, probably Februm and Al. If someone could, like, go under the platform to see if you can, like, figure out what's going on, we can try and hold it off. I don't know if either of you know anything.
I can see if there's any kind of enchantment or
Okay.
Spell, but
do we know if there's anyone still on the platform?
No!
No, but that would be great to figure out.
Winnie,
Alright.
can you please check the building?
Could somebody cast something to make me faster or fly?
You know what? Yes, I can. I can cast it on multiple people with one casting, yeah?
Yeah.
If I cast it at 4th level, I can target 2 people.
Nice.
So I'm gonna cast Fly at 4th level, but I can't concentrate on 2 things unless Iris helps. So I'm going to conjure my white flame magic, and I'm going to kind of ball up my fist, and I'm going to toss the magic to her.
She looks surprised at first, but it quickly clicks what you're doing as she takes this little, like, golden, like, thread, and it quickly loops around the white energy, and she pulls it to herself and kind of grips it hard in her hand.
And since she's, like, here as well, she's just gonna touch both of them. And these, like, ghastly, spectral white flame wings are gonna appear on your backs.
okay.
Epic.
Februm will kind of will like look at the group and just be like, "All right, I'll be just a second." And he's gonna pull out the Feywild shard.
Yay!
And he's gonna clench it, and it's gonna start glowing, and as it glows, I imagine his tentacle, like, it, like, starts moving, and then it sticks straight up, and then starts ticking around him like a clock.
Hell yeah.
And I will activate Distort Reality.
Okay. So you need to roll a d4 for me.
Cool. That is a 3.
3. You can go ahead and take 4 turns in a row. As
oh my god.
the Fey Shard bubbles out from you, freezing time in a radius around you as you effectively climb a modified time stop.
Sweet dreams starts
I
playing.
love it.
Oh my.
Sweet dreams are made of this.
And he's
Or you
just
just
gonna
disagree.
start flying, going around, checking the buildings, seeing, like, who's in the buildings, if there's anything, like, specific happening that would be considered unusual.
Go ahead, make an investigation check.
Go. That would be an 11 plus 7, 18.
18. So, first turn, you make your way through most of the smaller buildings. It seems to be a large collection of supplies, food, necessities for people that live away from a greater population. You don't notice anything of, like, foul play, but you can tell that these storehouses are filled to the brim, probably more than they usually are, which has added a ton of additional weight to this platform. But that's just the outer buildings.
Okay.
That's going to be most of your first turn.
Okay. In that case, I will move on to the middle building.
Okay.
Can I take an action surge while I'm doing this to dash again?
Yep. Because you can take
Take an
actions and
additional
move
action
as...
as part of your turn.
Yeah, you can take actions
Try
and
to
move as normal.
Make the
so-
most of it. I will do that.
Fantastic. What are you just doing, trying to figure out what the middle building is?
Trying to figure out what it is, if there's anyone in there. Yeah, pretty much the same thing.
Give me another investigation check.
Cool. 22.
22. You kind of start darting through this 2-story building, making your way around. Again, a lot of like raw materials. Leans less towards food and more towards things like steel, iron, large stores of like lumber and wood. But you do make it up to the second story floor, and you see that there are a few individuals here. It would seem there are a couple kids terrified out of their minds with a small spattering of breads and meats and cheeses kind of looped around them. And they are quite definitely not lake folk. These are refugees from Aophik, with your insight and your intelligence that have probably snuck into the storehouse to some extent to steal rations and food.
How many are there?
There's 4 of them.
4 of them.
Leave them.
One for each
Leave
arm.
them.
Thieves,
For that reason.
Drown in the lake.
Okay, could
You won't
I...
have time to drown.
They really won't.
So, for the description for this, it says, I can make a con save to interact with another creature without breaking the spell.
Mm-hmm.
To what extent?
This is a little bit more on you as, like, you tell me what you want to do,
Okay.
and we'll see what happens.
I want to try to grapple 2 of them.
Okay.
One with my arms and one with my tentacle.
Okay. You'll be able to grapple one turn. Okay. The second one has to be a second turn. You can only interact with one creature per turn.
That's fine.
So
I'm gonna
end of your
spend
second round,
turns grabbing them.
go ahead and make a con save for me.
Hey, gotta love that my con save is a +9. That's a 21.
21 is perfectly fine as you have to... you feel yourself, like, pushing through molasses as you get within those, like, last couple inches of another creature.
Mm-hmm.
And you just loop one of the kids into your arms. They are kind of stuck in this terrified, like, visage. A couple of crumbs that are frozen on their, like, cheek. But you pick up this almost statuesque version of this child.
Okay.
Going into your third turn,
yes.
if you want to give me a con save, DC 16 now.
That would be a 15 + 9. 24.
Beautiful. Your tentacle does the same thing. Gets right up to that barrier, feels a little more resistance this time, but is able to push through, maintaining the warping reality around you.
Mm-hmm.
Which I haven't necessarily described it, but everything is kind of hazy and a little brighter than it should be in the current moment. You see almost the aura of any living being kind of just radiating off of them in different mixes of color. But you have a second child in hand.
Okay. I'm going to carry them out.
Sweet. Using the rest of your third turn, you're able to pull them full out of the building, make it way back to the safety of the platform where the rest of your group is.
Mm-hmm. And then I'm... How many do I have left? Just one?
One left.
One left. I'm going to run back in.
Okay. You make it back in, going for the kids?
Yes.
Okay. Make it back in right next to the kids as reality seems to seize back up. Those shadows, those auras begin to go back into the bodies and the objects that they were coming out of as time reignites. For the rest of the party, Februm has disappeared and has been replaced with 2 kids.
Oh.
They are... the kids are crying and hysterical. They're like, I didn't know I was gonna do that. They like look up and realize. The two of them look at each other. Where's Brett and Clara? Okay.
Lily just flies back kind of awkwardly. She's like, and just flies
Not
back.
good
to
with
the
kids.
window.
I'm gonna fly underneath the platform.
Okay.
Yeah.
Need you to make me a dex saving throw.
I believe. I
Hmm.
believe. Come on, old man.
I'll give you advantage because of your fly.
Old man.
Okay.
Advantage.
Okay, that's good. See that at a 20? So 21.
Wow.
21. You dip underneath this platform and are the closest that you've been to this water for an ever. Like, this is like scary close, and even though all this chaos is happening above you, it is eerily still. You see out of the corner of your eye a fruit of some kind of rolls off the edge of the platform, hits the water, and is not sitting there for more than half a second before a small, slimy tentacle wraps around the fruit and pulls it underwater.
Ooh, I hate that. All right. If I could, yeah, I'm just gonna look around for any kind of enchantment, or if they have like contraptions that they've built.
Give me a good old investigation check.
Okay. I rolled a 1.
Well, you get under there and
Knock on it,
are...
like,
what is the total of that, just so I know?
15.
Well, okay, I guess
that's so
that's
much
funny.
different. I'm sorry, I don't...
Yeah.
It is still a 1, so you're gonna suffer a little bit of penalty there. But a 15 is much better. As you begin to look around and try to figure out what the enchantment is here, and it seems to be a mixture of artificing and kind of your stereotypical enchantment. You see a couple runes here and there. It is very much a hodgepodge of magical energies that have been used to sustain this platform. There's not like one obvious enchantment that is affecting this entirely. But with your 15, you do notice that there is some not sparking necessarily, but it's that like flickering magic at the back end of this platform. You do notice that it looks like all of the enchantments have been strained, but they're pulling on enchantments from other platforms. This back end has nothing else to pull on, and is beginning to crumple under the weight.
Okay.
I do need you to make an athletics or acrobatics check for me, though.
I will make a athletics check for an unnatural 20.
Okay. I think you're gonna just succeed on this. As you're looking and investigating, you get a little distracted with what's above you, and a little less apparent, and pay a little less attention to what's below you, as just the edge of your foot seems to drift along the top of the water, and you see a tentacle try to lash out and wrap around your ankle, but at the last second you kind of pull yourself back up, pressing up against the platform itself as it continues to tip and sink down farther.
Ooh. Okay. Did that take my action?
Nope.
To do that? Oh, okay. You know what I would love to do?
What's up?
Could I attempt to use my lay on hands to give these runes a little extra power for just a second to buy a little more time?
Okay. I don't know if you're gonna like this, but I need a charisma spellcasting check.
Hey, I don't like this. So that'll be a 9. I'll add my last flash of genius. Make it a 13.
Okay. How much are you pouring in? How much do you have?
I have 25.
Okay. First question stands. How much are you pouring in?
I will pour in 13.
13. Okay. You pour in about half of this magical reserve that you keep within side of you. And you see it does take a little bit of strain off of the enchantments in the back, but it doesn't help the already failing enchantments on the other side of the platform.
Ah, yes. Okay.
Not quite enough there. Not a full-blown failure, but not a success either.
A full-blown failure would have been pushing the ones that still work up.
Yeah.
Alright, I think Winnie and Octavia, what do y'all do in this round? Any ideas welcome.
I am going to motion to a lake folk person to take my spot, because I'm not strong enough to do much of anything where I'm at.
Cap?
So I'm gonna offer my rope, have them take my spot.
A big burly orc will kind of wrap the rope around their wrist, and is gonna go into like a full like horizontal lean.
Good.
On the platform itself.
And then I'm gonna check in with Perseus real quick. Where's Perseus at on getting a craftsman who's helped work on the enchantments on the flotilla.
Go ahead and make a perception check for Perseus.
Okay. Oh lord. Press some stats. Hold on. Oh, a 19 perception plus 5. 24.
24. Perseus has that younger half-orc. He has his hood in his mouth as he's like actively flying forwards. And they seem to be quickly turning a corner towards a artificing like merchant. Perseus doesn't 100% know, but the kid seems to be stumbling in that direction, so Perseus is going with it.
Okay, cool. So that's going good. All right, I'm assessing the situation. Octavia's looking out. She sees the two kids. I'm assuming she was able to hear the like, where's the other two?
Absolutely.
Cool. So I'm gonna use the vertical nature of this tall building that's already leaning, and I'm just gonna skip the stairs and run up the side of the building.
Fantastic. Go ahead and make an athletics check for me.
Cool. I'm good at those. So I'm gonna go ahead and use I rolled a 9, so I'm gonna use my reliable talent to make it a 10. And then athletics is +4, so that's a 14.
Yeah. You make your way up. You're a little flustered in the moment. There's a couple missteps, but nothing too detrimental. You make it over to a window and are able to kind of like hold on and look in, and you see Februm, you're inside, right?
Yes.
You see Februm, the wings aglow on his back, and two more kids in front of him.
Is this all that's left?
Yes. As far as I can tell, there was only 4 kids in here.
All right. Come along, darlings. One of you go with Februm. I can take the other one.
Go ahead and make me a persuasion check.
Hell yeah. I was hoping you'd ask that. So that is a, I can, 18, that's a 31.
They, kind of collect themselves in this moment. The girl seems to be a little older, and she will, seeing the boy freeze up, she quickly shoves him towards Februm, as Februm's right there, and she goes like into a quick sprint towards you.
I'm assuming that running up the thing took my action.
It's probably the persuasion checks and stuff has
Okay.
You're right about there. Maybe
Okay.
one more little like look around you could go if you wanted to try to figure something out.
Yeah, that's a good question. How did they get in? That's what I want to know.
Okay. Go ahead and make a quick perception check.
Not as good. That's a 13.
Not totally sure. There's a couple different doors at the bottom. You know places like this are generally locked. It is interesting to note that you don't see a whole lot of guards.
Yeah. Okay. She's gonna talk to the girl real quick, and she's just gonna be like, we're gonna climb down the side of this tower, and we're gonna get off this platform before it falls, just in case it does. But don't be scared. It'll be okay.
Mm-hmm. She's terrified.
Mm-hmm. And Octavia's gonna, like, offer her hand.
Yeah, she'll grab on. Winnie. What you doing? Or what do you want to do?
I don't know. I mean,
There's like kind of a couple of things going on. So like there's the kids who are terrified, and then there's the platform that's still like, actively trying to fall. So if you can like maybe help pull the platform back, I don't know if you've got magic that can do that, or you can comfort the kids or help like assist another person. Whatever your heart desires.
I don't know. Sorry. Hold on.
No, you're all
A
good.
lot of my spells are gone, so. I guess I'll just. Who am I closest to right now? Because I'll just cast guidance on somebody.
Lily is right there.
Alright, I'll cast guidance on Lily.
Sweet.
You are also at the ripe level where you can do the special cleric thing. I don't know how that will work in this context. Where you ask a deity for help.
Could divine
and
intervention.
sometimes miracles happen.
Oh yeah, I don't know how that works either.
Well, just if you want to do it, you roll a d100. I just
Also,
don't
is
know.
Axel here?
Axel is here.
Okay. Wasn't sure if he left or he stayed behind to like be like Zephyr.
He's just constantly trying to wake up Zephyr.
Actually, I think I am going to do that just so I don't have to run Axel.
Yeah, no worries.
Right now.
I think it's funny.
Hey, wake up!
Yeah, I'll try divining some intervention,
Okay.
I suppose.
Define your own
Roll a d100. You want 13 or lower.
Ooh.
I forgot that that's the way that works. Okay.
It is a miracle.
That's so sad. I'm not even kidding. I got a 15.
Oh, no!
Oh.
It's literally so much closer, and that hurts.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather it be like
Rather it be like 90
90
something than
Yeah.
literally
than be,
like
freaking
one.
2 off.
Yeah, your D10
That's
just didn't
painful.
roll well.
Can I give her a luck point?
Not for divine intervention, unfortunately.
Dang it. Well, I tried.
You kind of so you do pass your guidance on to Lily. We'll keep that. But in this moment, you're finding it difficult to connect with a greater divinity. Not sure. You're not necessarily sure who to ask. Do you ask like something inside yourself? Do you ask your mother? Do you ask your uncle? It's kind of up in the air, and you feel that power right at the tips of your finger, but it falls away. Not quite there. Okay. The lake folk there are going to make a check to see if they can continue slowing this down. I don't think they have any additional modifiers this time. So let's see. Okay, for the first time, you see them begin to slip. The platform kind of falls a good, 6 to 8 inches on the side. Owl, you get the best view of this as you see the platform dip dangerously low towards the edge of the water. Just hovering 6 inches above it right now. Probably you're a failed check away from that falling into the water itself.
Ooh.
Okay, top of the round. What are people doing? I know Februm and Octavia are probably getting kids out.
Yep. That's first priority. We're getting kids out of there.
It's going to take most of your action because they are children. They're not necessarily that calm. But if you spend your whole turns, both of them get out perfectly safe.
Yep. Can I get a reaction to call to Al?
Absolutely.
Al, it's the back! The ones on the back!
I figured that out.
Good! She's like, I have Perseus trying to track down a craftsman, but if you can do anything to support it.
I'm trying.
But it's not attached to anything.
It's not attached to anything, so...
I make you all British.
Can I recognize any of the runes? Maybe I could copy some extra ones or something?
We'll keep that in mind. I did see a Winnie hand raise.
Yes.
Beforehand.
Hop off.
Hop off, Queen.
So before you go at that, we're gonna see what Winnie wants to do.
How far am I away from Al? Like, would I be able to go try and help at all?
You are actively flying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I think your fly speed's 60 feet, isn't it? Or is it still 30? Either way, it doesn't matter. Al is within a turn of movement, if you would like to dip underneath the platform.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Make a deck save. With advantage, because you are actively flying.
Yay. Okay, I'm not gonna roll again. That's a 20.
Beautiful. Where Al went around like the edge to get underneath the platform, Winnie takes this moment to like water slide, like the cross your arms, cross your legs. Winnie just kind of like goes up and slips through the gap between the two platforms, and is able to easily make your way right next to Al.
Oh. Hi.
We're trying to push these up, right?
Yes.
Okay. Max. This is asking a lot. I don't know if this is gonna work.
Now ask away.
But okay. Especially because most of my spells are gone. So, Thom, you right? You know how you can like make a door like open or slam? Is it because of like a force that you use, or is it just simply because it's a door or a window? Because like if it's like a forceful type of thing, would I be able to like try to like forcefully like push it up?
Kind of just exude energy in a way.
Yeah.
Go ahead and give me a spellcasting check.
Okay.
D20 plus wisdom.
Oh my god, I love you. You're so good to me. Wait, what is it? D20 plus what?
Plus 5.
Wiz.
Modifier? Okay. So 22.
22. You kind of seeing the platform in the status that it is, fly over towards the lower edge, getting kind of dangerously close to that water below you. And focus for a second, not on anything in specific, but just the raw ability of your magic, and begin to exude that energy upwards. And it connects with the platform, forces it up, and kind of holds it in place a little bit. You see it raise maybe an inch or two. Haven't solved the problem, but you're definitely fighting back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, now back to Al.
I'll take luck. Just take the luck that I have. I'm gonna give him a luck.
Don't do that.
Take my luck. Take it.
Al, as you do this, Octavia, please make a perception check for me.
You got it. Perception. That's a 24.
24. As you kind of dig deep inside of you into that innate ability that kind of gives you some luck, gives you the ability to kind of warp reality around yourself, what makes things just work for you. You feel the necklace around your neck get just a little warmer, and you notice a hairline fracture begin to kind of warp up the necklace. You see now there's a couple extra little marks in this necklace from where you've given other people luck before.
Okay.
As it begins to kind of dig away farther into this necklace.
Okay.
But
Don't do that too often.
But Al, you can take advantage on whatever check you're gonna go for.
Okay. I mean, do I recognize any of these runes?
Go ahead and make an Arcana check.
Uh, 23.
Absolutely. These are textbook. The mechanisms, everything's pretty simple. It's maintaining a modified levitation. Not trying to do anything special. It is very utility, very streamlined. You know exactly what's going on here, as hodgepodge as it is.
Okay. Is there any way that I could, like, would putting more runes on this just, you know, spread out the magic even more than it is and strain things more? Or would I be able to... Yeah, I have 50 gold dust. Could I make a battery?
You tell me.
I think adding some more runes would not be a bad thing.
Okay.
If I could expend a third level spell slot to...
I was just gonna ask, what spell slot do you want to use?
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll do that.
You go over to the edge, expend your spell slot as you're carving a additional rune, kind of adding an enchantment to it. Go ahead and make me a spellcasting check with your intelligence.
Okay.
At advantage.
At advantage.
Okay. I'm just adding intelligence.
Just your intelligence.
Okay. Not proficiency.
Not proficiency.
Yeah.
This is just raw magic.
13 then.
13. You carve a rune in there, expending the magic, and you watch the runes next to it begin to kind of flare up in this chain reaction around the area that you're actively working on. And you see the platform begins to kind of reorient and kind of hold itself in place. And then you see the two runes next to it fizzle out and burn. There's a flash of red energy as you've added a rune, but you've lost two more. Just overcharging the energy that was there. The platform kind of dips a little bit lower. Winnie, you have to kind of brace yourself as it quickly approaches you. It's not looking good.
Okay.
Okay, I think the only ones left to act, we've got Lily.
Mm-hmm.
And oh yeah, Februm used his to get the other kid out.
Kids are out, kids are safe.
Okay. We got a big one this time, folks. So, Lily is going to coat her hand in her magic, and she's going to kind of just reach at the air and gather energy just from the air around her. And she is going to cast Summon Draconic Spirit.
Hell yeah.
Oh.
And she basically just asks Material Plane, give me magic, give my magic form, and make it powerful. And she starts crafting this little ball into a very crudely shaped dragon. And it kind of is infused with the material energy that she's been gathering. And it just grows gradually to become a large amethyst dragon spirit. And she's just gonna have it brace itself against the building.
Okay. Kind of like
'Cause it
pushing up
definitely can't fit
against.
inside.
Yeah. Lily grabs the energy from the air, releases this flash of white light as a smaller version of almost Aophic. Maybe a younger version, not quite. The horns aren't quite as prominent. There's not as much like different like older scales and such that would be more common to the ancient dragon type. Begins to kind of press its way into the tower, trying to forcibly reorient the platform. Go ahead and make a spellcasting check for me.
Okay.
What level spell is Draconic?
This is a 6th level.
Okay, so give me advantage on
I'm
this one as well.
casting it at. I should mark that off. There we go. Okay. 19.
19.
Just my charisma, right?
Yep, just your charisma.
Yeah, so 19.
Winnie, suddenly this is so much easier on you as the platform begins to move away from you, being kind of forced in another direction, pulling up and away. The Draconic Spirit is fairly successfully reorienting this platform. But Lily, you were finding yourself concentrating very heavily on keeping the Draconic Spirit moving in a single direction as it holds. And you can see that the building itself, there are small cracks in the foundation that begin to form. You've staved it off for a second, but this is not a permanent solution.
Okay.
Okay.
That's all I needed. Another second.
Okay.
I hate to be that guy.
What's up?
Is that another concentration
It
spell?
is. I'm not concentrating on Far Step anymore.
What about...
Iris is concentrating on Fly for me.
Oh, okay. I see.
That was
I
good.
see.
Yep.
I gotcha.
You're not gonna splash.
Oh,
No, I didn't. I thought about
Al's gone.
Bye bye.
That would be the stupidest way to lose it.
That would be terrible.
I'm gonna make a check with advantage this time, just to see if they can give you more ground. They're not actively holding the platform anymore, the rest of the lake folk. Lily seems to be staving it off from moving any farther. Yeah. The lake folk that are there, and you see that there are other people from close by buildings that have begun to group up just around like the corner of this platform. You've got a good 15 people that have lashed on in different ways, and you begin to make some progress backwards. But yeah, new round.
Sick.
He's gonna set the kid down and everything. He's just gonna call out and be like, Al, how's it looking down there?
Oh, it's looking.
Oh, she's a looker already.
The runes are failing fast, and I don't know how fast I can keep them going.
Octavia's checking in on the progress of Perseus.
I would say Perseus has gotten to the doorway. The young boy has knocked several times, and there is a older individual, a mixture of like gnomish and orc. So it kind of meets nicely in the middle there height-wise, but it's kind of a mixture of facial features. Has come out in like full like linen night dress, and they seem to be heading in that direction. Kind of grabbed a couple of tools. Probably got another.
Just like yawning. Oh man.
You've got
Another
probably 2 rounds before that person is gonna make it.
Oh, it's so tight. That is very tight.
But you're confident that if they make it there, they probably know exactly what to do.
Okay. I'm going to share that with the group. So basically, Octavia turns and looks at the rest of them. She's like, the artificer craftsman, he's on his way. If we can hold it off for just a little bit longer, he can save the entire storehouse.
Al, can you teleport him closer?
Yeah.
I'm underneath the platform! But I could.
I know.
Yeah, Octavia kind of... Yeah, I know. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Octavia kind of like goes under there, and she's like, "You two, go ahead and get out of there. I don't want you being stuck under there once it comes down. The best we can do is support it from the outside until they get here.
I'm coming.
Mm-hmm.
22, come on."
2 of you move
and then-
from outside of the platform. Underneath.
And Octavia's gonna turn to the gathering lake folk. I'm just gonna attempt to rally some hands, because I'm sure there's people just standing gawking.
There's a couple.
Some
yeah.
rubberneckers.
There's some rubberneckers. So she's gonna turn and just, you get anyone in the vicinity to come and help us pull this down. The artificer is coming. We need to hold it above the water before he gets here.
Go ahead and give me a persuasion check. This will be your action, but it'll give advantage to their check.
You said persuasion?
Mm-hmm.
It's a 29.
Fantastic. There is an immediate response to a call to action. You see more and more people getting here. There are doors that are being quickly knocked on. The urgency is getting out. This section of the city is beginning to light up.
Cool. I think Octavia's kind of taken this role of she's standing over these kids, both in a sense that she is making sure that they don't leave, but also protecting them in case anybody gets any ideas.
Mm-hmm.
And she is ordering people like, you go to that side, you go to this side, and together we're going to pull backwards, and if you have to hook onto these buildings, you can. The problem is, and she's like, taking them and having people rope the bottom end that's falling in and having them pull from the back end too and not just the front.
Absolutely.
So she's like, she's delegating. This is the inborn leader Octavia coming out to play once more.
Yeah. Lily, are you maintaining your spirit?
Is the spell functioning differently than how it's written?
Just a little bit for this context.
Okay. So I can't cast another spell right now?
If you'd like to, you can. It usually functions off your bonus action, right?
It has its own initiative.
Its own initiative. Okay. I just have a check for you to make for the spell.
Okay. What do I want? No, I can just. I'll just focus on it. I am, however, prepared and ready to have the dragon tear off a chunk of the building and put it somewhere else to lighten the weight of this platform if it looks like we need to. Like, if it's sinking, I'll have it, like, rip off the top of the building.
Okay. So what I'm going to need from you, if you're going to spend your whole turn focusing on it, you'll roll with advantage, but I need you to make, just roll at 2d20, because I have the
2d20.
modifiers on my end.
Wow, that was a 17 and an 18, so 18.
Fantastic. With your kind of delicate control of the spirit, focusing your whole turn on doing this, it's able to keep the building in place, kind of moving in that direction without ripping the foundation out and losing its grip.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Anyone else?
As I come up, can I see the guy?
Make a perception check.
Oh, these old eyes.
I mean, my glasses.
I want to say with disadvantage because you don't necessarily know who you're looking for.
Perseus would be up top guiding, I would think.
At least on this round. Next round, I'll say it'll be normal because this is far range.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's a 15.
15. Yeah, I think that you probably just catch the glint of Perseus's wings. And a older fellow that is being accompanied by Perseus, you have an assumption that that's probably the person you're waiting for. They're a little out of range, but with your extended fly speed, you kind of are able to get yourself in a mid position.
So how far away?
Within range to use Vortex Warp to accurately move the person.
Okay. I'll do that. I don't know what level I'll have to cast, but...
The normal level's fine as long as you got a second level left.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
Look at that.
And you Vortex Warp this craftsman right up to the edge.
Perfect.
Good.
I think Februm will meet him there, the craftsman, and just be like, "Is there any kind of help you or assistance you might need with this?"
Oh, I'm sure that I will need assistance at some point in time, but I've got to figure out what's happening first. Enchantments like these don't fail every day. What were you saying, young lad?
What? The runes are failing.
We're doomed.
They're kind of fizzling out below the platform.
Are they fizzling or are they imploding?
Two of them imploded.
Oh, lovely.
Imploding means sparking out, right? Okay.
Like
cool.
overcharging.
Yes.
Did the circuit break or did the power get shut off?
Yeah. So that's what's happening. There's a little too much weight.
Let's see what we can do about that then. Okay. Februm, you're gonna assist in whatever?
Yeah, I'll just use my turn to assist him in whatever he needs to do.
Fantastic. Winnie, doing anything on yours?
Since Tavi's doing the whole leader thing, I'll put the kids on my broom with me and try and find them, like, their parents or whatever, like, get them all together at least.
Alright. You corral them together and get them out of the immediate fray. Go ahead and make a perception check. See if you can find any family.
said perception, right?
Mm-hmm.
23.
You start to look around. The general lakefolk crowd is starting to become mixed. You're seeing other Aofian refugees. But as you're beginning to look around, the oldest girl that was dropped off by Octavia tugs on your, arm. To come down so that she can whisper to you.
She does so.
If you're looking for people, it's just us. But don't let them know.
Don't let the other kids know.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't know that their parents aren't there, or that's
Sad.
What do I do with that?
It's like they were foraging for food for a reason.
When she gets them out of the fray and sets them, she'll sit kind of on the ground with them and kind of pull out some leftover food that she had on her. She goes to bed with food.
They quickly scarf it down.
Yay.
And
she'll do her best to distract them and keep them occupied, I think.
Okay. Okay, we have found ourselves in a little bit of a holding pattern, so I'm gonna make some checks. We need our craftsman to succeed twice before everyone else fails.
Oh, Lord. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Craftsman is gonna go first. It's a DC 20.
Oh.
Okay.
He's probably got a decent modifier.
I mean, Februm did offer to help.
He's good.
That gave him the help.
I do have help. He does have help.
First one's a 26.
Okay.
Okay. The other people have help too, so they have advantage on their check. Their DC is not as high. Okay. Okay. They just barely pull it through. You see, the craftsman gets on, the edge of the platform, and he's, scrawling, different runes, pulls out a little mechanism that just kind of... He takes, some silly putty and just, slaps it onto the edge. And the force of people at this front kind of lose grip for just a second as they dig their heels back in. Craftsman is like, oh, keep it steady now.
Oh.
Oh. Oh shit.
Ope for me.
This Midwestern folk craftsman.
Yeah, the Ohio classic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All gnomes are Ohioans.
So as long as he succeeds this next one, and they don't fail, we should be good. Oh, natural 20 for him.
Love it.
Pop off, dude.
I just rolled 2 natural 20s.
I was joking at the beginning of it.
I just rolled 2 nat 20. In this moment of camaraderie and collective effort, the last inscriptions, the last enchantments are placed, and people are gritting their teeth, muscles bulge, and there is a moment where people get very nervous as all of the ropes begin to slacken. But it is quickly overcome by cheers of celebration as the platform reorients itself back into place.
You see all of Octavia's like musculature just like releases. She's like, oh, that could have been terrible.
So Lily's gonna fly toward the head of this dragon now, and she's just gonna like fly like right in front of its face, and she's just gonna say, "Thank you for serving us once again, Aophik," and it dissipates into stardust.
Gives like a little bow as it like. So the sparkles like trail up and out.
Yeah. She doesn't want to leave the spirit dragon there to scare people. It's
Probably
good when
smart.
there's turmoil, but not now.
Yeah, I think Octavia takes a moment to like take a deep breath, and she's gonna look to everyone. She's gonna be like, "Thank you. I'm gonna go see what we can do about reinforcing the edges. Clearly, that shouldn't have happened." Al, do you mind coming with me to tell me to tell the others what you saw, and so we can get this out en masse?
Of course, yes. These runes will hold, correct?
They should hold for at least a little bit. We are essentially moving on borrowed time, but it should be stationary at least for the next 24 hours.
Should we redistribute the weight? Like, take some
We
stuff...
should probably redistribute the weights.
All right,
with supplies.
everyone, gather round. And she kind of huddles the people. She's like, excellent work. You did such a good job at keeping our supplies safe. What I need right now is for those who still have strength, to come one at a time to help taking loads off of the platform so that we can lessen the weight distribution.
Share the load.
You begin ferrying bits of material off, probably starting with some of the wood and like steelwork. There quickly becomes kind of like the question of where to bring things. People figure it out, but you get the impression that any like storehouse platforms are similarly full.
Yep.
There are people close by that offer like their homes to take like the raw materials. Teetering on edges here.
Octavia will look to she knows for a fact that there is at least one clan who refuses to take on refugees. And she's actually going to delegate them to bring materials there. They can't take people, they'll take things.
They are actually very happy to take the materials, as like, well, the people that control the food and the materials are generally fairly highly regarded. This is the Wavons. Spindly Man is their leader. He kind of like crosses like, oh, I would be more than happy to take food and supplies onto our barges.
So that it is evenly distributed amongst the flotilla, I would see that you would carry this burden. Thank you.
Of course. Of course.
She knows his type. She's just, get it out of here. Yeah, oh yeah, groveling at her feet. She's just like, ugh.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, let's. Where are we going?
Well, sir, and she looks to the artificer, and she's just like, we need to run inspections on all of the storage barges. In fact, an entire perimeter of the flotilla, just double-checking runes and making sure nothing is, how did you say, imploding?
I will have a team assembled and have to wake up some friends and colleagues, but it shouldn't be too difficult to get some people moving.
Yes, of course. This is of utmost importance. I appreciate your quick response.
Of course.
She's just like kind of in like focus mode. She's like, and she's like going through and she's like clapping backs and like thanking the big muscly dudes who have like, who are like, yeah, I helped.
And I would say for like the rest of the group, you're seeing like Octavia the leader. We've seen Octavia the rogue, we've seen Octavia the gambler, but this is Octavia the leader, a voice of her people in full glory.
Febrim's gonna go up to the artificer also. Could you, you know, while you're working on other things, of course, could you show me the runes that you used for this, kind of how they work, how they function?
I'm
If
sure.
it's not too much trouble.
Sure, I could. Well, if you look at it this way, he begins to kind of like ramble a little bit. Are you proficient in Arcana?
I am.
Okay.
I have double proficiency in Arcana.
Beautiful.
Proficient.
It seems like it's mainly modified levitation runes. They draw on less power because they're trying to levitate less, like, as high, which allows them to continue the enchantment over long periods of time. But putting more energy into the runes makes them want to levitate higher, but they're restricted, which is creating this kind of counterbalance in the enchantment itself, which seems to be what a lot of the problems are.
I'm gonna jot down these runes in like a notebook.
Sweet.
Next to where I assume he would have put the runes that he saw in the doll.
Understood. So you've got possession runes and you've got levitation runes.
That about covers it.
Out of our cover.
You don't need any other else. Anything else? Not necessary. Yeah.
If no one else has anything in specific, the rest of the night goes by fairly swimmingly. There is a large community response. People are coming together, with Winnie kind of taking the kids out of the way. It keeps the attention off of the fact that they were even there at all.
Good. Good. Win, you're the best.
They do they will eventually ask, like, can we leave? I don't know if Winnie tries to keep them there.
You may, in fact, be in a shit ton of trouble.
Yeah, I think after Octavia's kind of gone through the people and then just like done her platitudes, her thanking, you know, whatever she needed to do to appreciate the effort that was made to save this thing, she's gonna make her way back to the kids. And she's going to, and I'm assuming Winnie pulled them maybe like into an alley, kind of like between two buildings, just out of the way. She's just gonna kneel on one knee and just like, all right, loves, you're going to have to tell me this honestly. Did you sneak in to steal from the flotilla, or did you sneak in to eat?
Clara, the oldest girl, will step up. She is elvish to some capacity. She's got kind of the larger pointed ears. Difficult to put an age on her, but she's definitely a child. She's trying to act a little more than what she is. I mean, depends on who you talk to. We don't have... She, like, looks back to the kids. Of like, we're separated from our families, and they don't give rations out to kids. Unless we, like, with the orphanage. we're not orphans, so kind of left on our own.
Can I tell that they're lying?
Oh,
Or that she's lying?
to an extent. I mean, make an insight check.
It's only a 12.
I mean, she's not like. Here's what it is. She's not lying to you. She's lying to them.
Okay, that's all the distinction that I need.
They
yeah, Octavia kind of...
did in fact go there to grab food.
Mm-hmm.
But
And not...
the circumstances around them not being able to get food is mainly for for the other kids' benefit.
Okay. Octavia stands up and she's like, "All right, well, I suppose that solves it then. It was really so silly of them to put so much weight onto one platform. We'll have to rectify that in the future,
Just kind of like looking at you.
Yeah. Octavia sighs and she looks between the four of them and she's just like, "You might not be orphans, but if you cannot find your parents, the orphanage is the best place for you to get food. No more sneaking around, because we don't want you to get hurt. I understand that this place is unfamiliar to you and scary, but they'll look after you there until your parents can find you. Okay?"
Make a persuasion check.
Hell yeah, I'm good at those! That is a 23, because I rolled a 10.
She does like a little curtsy, kind of like meekly, very like tight upper body, but dips into it as best as she can. Like, of course, we'll. She looks back to the other kids. We'll go wait there.
Stay strong, loves.
Thank you.
Don't let me catch you doing it again.
Of course not. I won't get caught next time.
Octavia's like, oh.
As the four of them, as a group, head off in the direction of the closest orphanage.
Yeah. Octavia kind of sighs and turns back to the others and she's like, "It was very close."
Yes.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, "Yep."
I think
Yeah, they all
that is
just
the
kind of...
proper response.
It is. And she's like, "Thank you all. Obviously it wouldn't have been saved if not for you. But I don't have to give you platitudes. You know that you're fine." She
Often.
And there's the Octavia we know and love.
Yeah, there's that. You're fine. You don't need encouragement.
How often does that happen?
Well, if I'm being honest, never.
They never need to replace the runes, or.
I mean, they get checked up upon, every so often. There's a routine where the artificers go around and take a look and make sure everything's working as it should, but there's no reason, aside from the influx of people and supplies, for an entire platform to sink. So
you don't think there was any sabotage?
Her eyes kind of narrow, and she's like, "If there was, it would have to have been cleverly disguised. Those kids just needed food, and they were too prideful to go to the orphanage. I can't fault them for that, by any means."
I didn't see anything else weird either when I was looking around.
Can I flash Divine Sense real quick?
Absolutely. Nothing that you're not expecting.
Okay.
Yeah, Octavia's just like, "Well, I believe the best we could do now is let the artificers pack up on the outskirts like I asked them to, and go get some sleep that we all were deprived of.
Yes.
Big day tomorrow. I have a lot to think about." Yes, Lily.
I only wonder why the chieftain hasn't showed up.
Yes, where are...
It seems all of the other leaders are here, and most of the lake folk in general is strangely absent to issue orders.
He could be...
do want to jump in. We only ran into Spindly Guy because he was requested. There aren't other leaders there. This is mainly like local lake folk.
I will withdraw the other leaders thing. Kind of.
Just why isn't he here?
But he didn't make an appearance.
You should have heard about it.
Yeah.
And it's been long enough at this point.
Mm-hmm.
He's probably been fed information. I'm sure there was a courier at some point. And if they by chance saw me, I could see him not deciding it was important enough to come, because he seems to think I can handle everything. She kind of like huffs, and she kind of like huffs and bares her tusks in a way that you haven't really seen her do. She just kind of like, it's very much so a lake folk thing when they're annoyed. Is like just a little cultural thing.
Lily just squints. She has a thought, but she keeps it to herself.
Oh?
I think
not because
Al might be catching on too.
Yeah.
But she's like, this is obviously unsustainable. I am more than willing to hear ideas that anyone has if we're to keep both the refugees and my people alive. My main thought that I'm going to propose, if I win tomorrow or today, is that we need to start a colony of some sort, because the flotilla can't have this amount of people forever, but there's no reason why they can't be just near enough by to ferry supplies and start building something when people can't be all on the flotilla at once. I don't have a position in mind, but that is my initial thought that I would propose.
I don't know the structure of this whole place, but would it make sense to move the flotilla closer to the shore?
If you do that, then there's a chance that monsters from the waste will attack.
My thought is to move the flotilla closer to shore, but not close enough so that we could risk an altercation. We also want to be deep enough in the waters because the Silanovni currently protects the flotilla from underneath. I'm sure you might have seen things in the water. Things falling in the water often do not resurface, and if they do, it is not for very long. So we need to be in deep enough water that the flotilla can still be underneath the protection of the Silanovni.
Since we'll probably have to build something on the shore anyways. Would be nice to have that connection.
There is an island that flying creatures can reach, but not other monsters of the wastes. I held my trial there when I became of age. It might not be too bad of a place to start a colony, but it's gonna have to be lots of people pitching in, and I obviously, as you can see, not a lot of the lake folk, not all of them anyways, are so eager. Oh no, there goes our DM's webcam.
Keep talking.
Oof.
Yeah. Octavia mentions there's an island that is of decent size that could perhaps hold a small colony of refugees, and it is just far enough off the shore that the only threats that they would have to face would be aerial.
That
would be smart.
I mean, can't you just build another one? Another flotilla?
Yes, but it takes time and a lot of resources. They don't just appear overnight as much as I wish they did. It has taken decades, centuries of my people building this to be as big as it is now, and as sustainable as it is.
I mean, we have time. We're in it for the long haul.
We're going to have to get refugees off of the main flotilla in order to begin to build without worry of more things like this happening.
Yeah.
But yes, theoretically, it would be wise to build more platforms. So, there are a couple of things that we can do, but I appreciate any and all thoughts in this matter. She kind of sighs, and you see her, she just looks a little tired, not, more tired than what missing some sleep would do. Just, emotionally exhausted, and she's just like, ugh, I never wanted to do this. She just kind of shakes her head, kind of straightens up her back, and she's like, but sometimes what we don't wish to do is what needs to be done.
I mean, at least you're good at it.
She can't help but laugh a little bit. She's like, oh, Lily, you're so sweet. Please never change.
You do seem very confident.
Really? Then I've got you all fooled.
At least leading everybody else.
If you know how to talk to people, it's just, little bit of, speaking to their ego. Like, oh, you look strong. Maybe you can hold this down for an eon. You just know people. I know people.
The difference is you know people. You don't pick them because they're strong. You pick them because they're strong in more than one way. Sorry, guys, I can't fucking see.
So bright. I don't know.
The sun.
Side effects, Wow.
Yeah, she nods to Winnie, and she's like, well, thank you. I certainly couldn't have done it without all of you. That much is certain. But don't tell Zephyr, that I thanked you in any capacity. I have a reputation to uphold. Just with him. And she's gonna turn around and walk back towards the house, because her thought, get a little bit of sleep, challenge her uncle, bada bing, bada boom, we out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Might be that easy.
Yeah.
As easy as that.
The rest of the night goes by fine. There's a kind of constant crowd outside, but you all gain your long rest.
Thank goodness.
Woo! I just used a bunch of spells.
You are feeling good, and you wake up the next morning to an invitation at your door, inviting the entirety of your party to the main building, to the. It doesn't have a name. I feel like it needs to have a name. I know, right?
Hold on, my brain's working.
Got it.
Council.
Kind of like that.
Well, the Chamber of Voices.
Chamber of Voices. That works. But requesting your whole party report to the Chamber of Voices to be honored for your deeds of the last night.
Ooh.
Oh.
Nice.
I guess
Cool.
I guess I should make my dress into something nicer.
Get honored for our deeds and then get kicked off the flotilla.
Yeah.
It's only if I lose, you guys, right? Only if I lose.
As you begin to make your way over in that direction, you're starting to see a greater guard presence. And there seems to be an active progression of Aofian refugees packing up their stuff.
Octavia is gonna cut over real quick and talk to a guard. She's like, excuse me, what is happening?
Octavia, thank you. The chief has ordered that we are to begin the disembarkment of Aofian refugees from the flotilla.
Techno?
After the events of last night, he seems to have called for it.
It's just like him to write a bunch of executive orders.
I know, without even being there. How rude.
Right before the end of the term.
Octavia looks to him, and her gaze just kind of hardens. And she's just... Guardsmen, you are to put a halt on that order, and you are going to spread it.
He, cowers. Ma'am, while I do respect you in your position, this is a direct order.
Not for very much longer. And then she's going to turn on her heel and walk straight to the meeting hall. To the Chamber of Voices. The
Chamber of Voices. You will cut to you dramatically throwing open the silken doorways. Sylvain is sitting upon the main throne of the room. You see several other leaders have kind of talking in small groups around the room, divided into those that wanted the active eradication of Aofians from from the flotilla, and those that were against it. There's obviously more that were for than against. Kind of standing at a 3 to 4, I guess.
Yeah.
But there's, that one or two of the ones that are over are in the kind of gray area. The only person that was actively against getting rid of Aofians was the younger woman from the Favun.
Okay. Octavia, dramatically steps inside. Uncle! What is the meaning of this?
Welcome, Octavia. Pleasure to have you with us. Would you mind entering?
She will, but she will avoid, because the last time she was in here, she kind of walked around the outside. She's walking straight into the center of this room. And she's going to look to him with a very stern expression. I thought I told you that we cannot do this to these people. They have nowhere to go.
They have plenty of places to go, it just can't be here. Octavia, I do admire you and your friends for saving the storehouse, but if you weren't able to pull that off, I heard it was quite close at times.
It may have been, but if you had taken a firmer stance on... then perhaps maybe it wouldn't. What has happened to the upkeep of the runes on the outside of the flotilla? Why are they breaking at a moment's notice the minute a little bit of weight is added onto them?
He, stands from his throne. It was they are being upkept. I have kept us floating and moving. I'm sorry that hundreds and hundreds of individuals have been added to the flotilla, and I have had to redistribute weight from the civilian areas to make sure that we're not losing people. Now, if you're going to come in here accusing me and such, then you might as well just head out the other direction. I was going to inform you that your friends are more than welcome to stay after their efforts from last night, excluding them from the rest of the Aophians that have come here illegally for the most part.
You didn't see the destruction of Aofik. The people running and screaming as their families were murdered in the streets by people they thought they could trust.
And I am responsible for all of us lake folk. I have to keep the rest of us from suffering the same fate as that city.
And you would do so by sending innocents to their deaths. You and I have common goals, but the ways in which we go about said goals are fundamentally different. I was raised in the traditions, and I know my rights. You would have us all hide on the lake, barely keeping our people sustained while tasking the Silanovni with our protection for as long as you can wait it out. I enact Walsan Ro Sovereign, and I challenge your position to the throne.
There is a, silence. All of the other side conversations that were happening, snickers, anything, shuts down. Your uncle stands up. Do you know the words you've just uttered?
If I didn't, would I really be saying them, Uncle?
He turns around, picks up his spear from the side of the chair, grabs his shield from the other, begins to just silently and slowly strap the shield to his arm.
Octavia's pulling both of her swords out, both the crystal short sword that she took from her father's bedroom and also her short sword of warning that was that became the one that the Silanovni touched.
Are we doing this here? Is this happening here?
You watch as the other 6 leaders quickly start to usher you away from what you now can tell in the middle of this talking pit, essentially, is a sand-coated arena. Now seeing things pushed back into perspective, a border created around this area. You see a section of this building that has been used for battles for centuries. Sylvain looks back over his shoulder. I will give you one chance to withdraw your claim.
Uncle, if I withdrew my claim now, you know that I would be turning back on my honor and my beliefs. And that is something that we share, because it's something that I cannot do.
Let's see if you're ready then. The spear whips to his side, cutting the air as it makes this whistling noise, comes to rest. Well, if there's no other conversation, and I can't convince you otherwise, shall we?
It'd be my pleasure.
Let's see what the mainland has tossed you.
She flips her swords and she then
holds
them out. And I'd like to add some flavor text.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so as they've pulled all of the seats and everything to the side, the lake folk who are within the room, the chiefs, their retainers, anyone who is in here, will start taking their weapons and banging them rhythmically on the ground. And occasionally there'll be a shout, something said in Orcish, and it's almost call and response as they pound. It's a chant and then a yell and a response and a call to action. And it just fills the room with this thundering, like, pounding.
As you prepare yourselves, the two of you begin to circle this pit. One of the retainers quickly runs outside, yelling about what is actively happening, and a crowd quickly begins to form as people begin to flood in from several different entranceways into this building, filling out the seats almost as if they're stands. With each new person that takes their place, the drumming becomes louder, the rhythm becomes more intense, and you can all feel it like bound and beat with your hearts. Okay. Let's roll initiative.
Can we take a 5-minute break before we start?
Absolutely. Let's take a quick little break before we get into this, get everyone set, and we will be right back.
I'm shaking.
Okay. Okay, I know I cut the break a little early, but we are just too excited to get into this.
My stomach is rolling. I have to let you know.
Okay.
I'm like, ah!
Octavia,
Uh-huh.
I would like you to roll initiative.
All right. I'm gonna use a point of luck
Okay.
to add another roll to my initiative, and I already have advantage on initiative.
Yep, so you get to roll 3 d20s. I will let
I
you know.
don't even need to look at it, because I got a nat 20, bitch!
Oh, wow.
Okay.
For a total of...
For a total of 26. Oh,
His 22 is not gonna beat that.
Not good enough, Gary.
But close enough to be concerning.
But close enough
Yes.
to be concerning. Octavia, as the two of you circle each other in this pit, you were the first to react.
I'm gonna use my bonus action to turn pinpoint flash on.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to rush to face him head on. There is no sneaking around. There is no we don't do that here. We are going straight for him. I'm rolling to hit with my crystal short sword, and I would like to expend pinpoint flash to immediately get its effects.
You gotta hit first. That's the
I know.
only thing.
And I'm gonna use another luck point to hit.
Okay, so you're rolling with advantage, essentially.
Yep.
I mean, roll first and see if you need the luck.
Okay. I definitely need the luck. So I use my luck. Let's see, what is that to hit with that sword? It's the same as my other one. That is a 23?
23 will hit.
I'm gonna expend the pinpoint flash. Everything. I'm hitting him with absolutely everything
Okay.
in one hit.
That's 17.
So expending pinpoint flash gives me crit.
Yep.
I get 1d6 plus 3 plus 5d6 for my sneak, or 7d6 for my sneak attack.
That's 8. Plus,
8.
that's 9 with your lightning, remember?
Right, 9d6, and then plus the material shard.
Roll a d6 to determine the elemental type.
All right. Oh, please be poetic. I am begging you for a 4.
No way.
Yes, freaking way. You can't see it. It's a 4.
Okay.
Lightning damage. I just threw my dice. I don't care where it goes.
Okay.
Okay. So it is plus, so that's 9d6 plus 8d6 lightning damage. So that is...
It's 17d6. I would like you to roll 17d6.
Okay.
The crit is 102 points of damage. On top of whatever you roll.
Oh my.
All right. I have my dice roller up. What was that number?
102.
Plus 102. Octavia, like, rushes him, and you see her entire body, like, lightning spirals up her form as she just lets out the loudest, most guttural scream you've ever heard. And she deals him 170 points of damage.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. You hit him with this insane attack. You watch Octavia for a moment just turns into a golden lightning bolt that you just watch. For a moment she is on one side of the arena. The next, her sword is halfway impaled into her uncle. You see him look down. And he grabs on to your wrist, holding on to the blade. And for the first time You see him smile. Seems the mainland's taught you quite a lot. It's his turn.
Oh
no! Bonus action.
no.
He will rage.
I figured.
Not that's gonna help too much, but
He didn't use his relentless endurance. Lol.
almost.
Oh.
He will rage, and then he is going to recklessly attack. With his spear. What is your AC?
It's a 17.
Okay. He has to roll lower than a 6 to miss.
It's still a 25%.
Yeah.
Uh,
Looking for crits. First one hits. Second one hits. Third one hits. This advantage is saving him. He's gonna do this and I'm gonna do it now before I roll damage. He will action surge and attack 3 more times.
This fucker.
The fighter barbarian.
Mm-hmm. Just barely hits. That one hits. Yep. And that hits. All 6 hit, no crits though.
Okay.
Okay. 5, 7, 8.
Whichever one does the most damage, I got a cunning, or I got a dodge, uncanny dodge.
Cool. I'll take 6 off the total then. Because that'll be like the average. Fuck, what was that? 21. That is, so it's 66, which comes out to 21.
Okay.
Plus 60. That is
21 plus
81 points of damage.
Okay.
Octavia's single strike is met with a flurry of spear attacks. It is one of those like anime moments where Octavia, you've landed this critical blow. You can see blood pouring from the wound. But you just look up and you see 6 simultaneous spear points all heading in your direction, each one striking with different amounts of power and true. Oh wait, no, -6 to that. I forgot to do your uncanny.
Oh, thank goodness.
As he just keeps on striking one after the other.
Yeah.
He looks at you.
Her breathing is ragged. She's got like blood coming down her temple. Her arms are shaking, but she is standing and she is not backing down.
Do you think yourself ready to lead these people?
I am whatever I need to be to save as many lives as possible.
That is not the question I asked you, Octavia. Do you think yourself ready to lead the lake folk, its descendants, and all that may join?
Yes! Damn it!
Roll your attack.
I'm gonna use one more point of luck against that.
It's your last luck point.
I know. I am nervous. That is so much better. That is a 22.
22 will hit.
All right. We're...
You can roll it if you'd like.
Oh.
I don't need the damage. You're...
Okay.
You're
Then-
gonna do enough. I would love to throw another one of those elemental bolts in there.
I don't think it's necessary.
I
think she's not trying to strike him with brute force. She's trying to prove a point.
But his relentless endurance will go off after that attack. As he kind of
Do you yield?
he drops to a knee. Looks up.
And she holds her swords not to his neck, but in front of his head in like an X. Do you yield?
Oh, Octavia. How you've grown. I yield.
Kind of see her hands, like they were so like clenched white practically on her swords, and she just kind of drops them slowly and like closes her eyes and just like looks to the sky and just
even in his haggard state, he will quickly stand up, kind of like grab your hands, and is gonna like pull you into an embrace.
I think she starts to tear up, and her swords will fall to the ground as she like, bear hugs him back.
Oh, be careful. You can't let them see how weak you're being.
I'm sorry, I can't. And she's like, her lips doing the, like, she's just, okay. And she like takes a deep breath and she nods and she's like, yep, I'm good, I'm fine. And she does her best to like stop crying.
He, holding on to this gaping wound in his side, kind of like putting some weight on his spear, will turn to the rest of the group, to the crowd that is formed, to a silence that is continued through the 12-second battle that just happened in front of you.
Yeah, Octavia!
Lily, like, is the first voice to breach this silence.
Oh my gosh.
It's like, yeah.
Did you see that? She did it!
Sylvain
She's
will
like
take...
grabbing all of the party like, she turned into lightning!
Sylvain will take 2 or 3 good steps away from you, Octavia, before turning around, and he will haggardly make his way to his knees. And he bows to you.
Yeah.
And you quickly watch every other lake folk individual drops to their knees silently in one large thud, echoing the rhythm that had been brought you into this conflict. And without a word, you feel each and every one of them admire you, respect you, and bow to you.
Oh my gosh. I have a speech prepared. Are we ready?
Yeah?
Oh, she's like breathing and she's like feeling like it almost feels like soul fulfilling. Like this was something that she thought she didn't want. And as soon as it is handed to her, it's like it gives her purpose. And she just kind of like looks out across the crowd. My people! Long have we been protected by the Silinovni. The lake sustains us, and we call it home. We are born of its silence as fighters, warriors, artisans, craftsmen. And I ask not that you abandon that pride to hide as the world falls to ruin around us. Long have we held kinship, trade, and business with the Society of Land Dwellers. Rather than hiding here, holding our breaths, I beg you, look to the future. Our children deserve the right to choose, to stay on the flotilla as their forefathers have, or to make a life for themselves on the land. My companions and I see that end. In that future where we no longer need to fear the corruption of the devouring. Our honor as lake folk demands that we forge ahead. The Silanavni has spoken to me and named me Ulkra. My task is no small feat. Together my companions and I look to save the world. Or I would make it so glorious an end that we can truly be worthy of joining the victorious dead and our forefathers in the halls of the afterlife. Are you with me?
There's no vocal, like there's no words to it, but there is a guttural sound. Like every person in this room growls at the same time. And that beat begins again. Slowly at first, you see the first to take their, probably a short sword, and begin to kind of bang it against the chair that they're next to, is the young woman that you've agreed with. But it is quickly followed by everyone in the room. And it morphs into this sweet resonance. And you can feel that the people are with you.
And, she, Oh, I wish I had another word prepared. She will shout something in, Lake Folkian that I would know later. But basically, the meaning behind it is like, together strong. Like, it is one word that means together strong.
I think it is echoed time and time between beats. They will say the word and then bang the weapon. Say the word, bang the weapon. And I think that's where we're probably going to end it for tonight. I think that's like a pretty solid climactic bit there.
Well, I can go die now.
Yeah, we're off to the waste.
But thank you everyone for joining us tonight. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Julia?
I'm gonna drink so much fucking water. I need it. I feel dehydrated. I don't know if you could tell during that entire thing, like, it was so short. My hands were shaking. They were shaking before we went on for break. They're shaking after. And you know what? Sometimes shakiness is a sign of dehydration. So, you just gotta drink all the water you can, man. It's so good for you.
You're doing great, sweetie.
Thank you, everyone. We won't be here next week. We've got some cons and trips planned and happening. But we will keep you updated when we'll be back. So
And the Spotify's coming. Dane's working on it. Just keep him in your thoughts.
Yeah.
Keep him in your thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Send some good energy towards him.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway,
Together strong!
we'll see you next time.
Together strong.
Yes!
They're strong.